Good morning, Millionaire, and welcome to the Julie Show. Here to encourage the millionaire in you to grow and to glow. This is a place that you can step into and have your wealthy soul be nurtured. And today, our topic is want what you want. Well, I'm going to get into that in a minute. But first, I'm going to share. See you, Mike. I'm going to see Mike later. First, we had a hangout last night. If you didn't see it, it was our Blue Lion Summer Boot Camp to Billions. And we have a video just going over what that is about. What the heck is that about? It starts June 22nd. So if you register before June 22nd, you'll be boot camping with us. So take a look at that video. I'll put a link in the description below. But today's healing tip is regarding coffee grounds. Normally, people throw these in the garbage, maybe in the compost. Compost is good too. But guess what? This is actually a beauty/health tip. I got my shades on today because it is so sunny, and yet it is still so muggy that you still cannot see the mountains over there past the buildings. Those are the mountains in the humidity, muggy haze. So, wow. But it is super, super, super hot and sunny. I'm going to put these on. Here's our health tip. So take your coffee grounds if you drink coffee and you've got these coffee grounds, or if somebody knows drinking coffee, especially the better the grounds, the better, right? Hi, Nefa. So with your coffee grounds, you can pack it onto your face and especially onto your eyes, but don't scrub your eyes. Just pack it on, and like you can go sit in the sun, or you can just sit with it on, right? So you're gonna have to lay like this, or the coffee grounds will fall off. That's one thing you can do because it really helps, the dark circles that can happen, especially under your eyes in the morning. You're like, oh, dark circles, right? Well, if you put it on there, it'll take the swelling down and, surprisingly, the dark circles. I think it's the iron content and also the swelling. It tightens your skin. And then when you scrub it off, you just gently exfoliate your face. And if you have enough coffee grounds, you can even do a body scrub, which is amazing, especially for the legs. You can get all that dead skin and all those ingrown hairs. That is a beauty/health tip of the morning. How to make awesome use of your coffee grounds for yourself, not just your garden. And my cash choice comparison today is regarding $3, about $3, $2.75 to be exact. What am I talking about? Well, in Vancouver, that's called bus fare for an adult, $2.75 right now. I remember when I was a kid back in Ontario, KW, it was like 50 cents to get on the bus, right? Well, it's not that anymore. And you're not just getting on the bus, you get on the SkyTrain, you get on the Canada line, you get on the Expo, all these different lines you can get on for $2.75. Unless you go really far, then you have to pay a little bit more. But if you're going from one area to downtown and it's one zone, it's $2.75. And I'm going downtown today. I do not drive, so I'm not going to take my car. So that's not even an option. But later on, my husband's coming down, meeting me. And the debate is it cheaper to just go park? Or is it cheaper to take the bus down or take the SkyTrain down? Well, in some ways, it's not about cheaper, but it's about easier. It is about the same. It's about $6 an hour to park downtown. So think of that. To get downtown and to get back, if you're only going to stay downtown for an hour, it's going to cost about the same, right? But then you take out the stress of finding a place to park. You take out the stress of whether you've run out of time and you're wondering while you're sitting chatting with your friend at a cafe, oh, should I go get my parking? You don't have to think about that. And yeah, if you stay more than an hour, it's going to cost more than it takes to go downtown and come back, right? And Another option is, why not take a cab down? Split the cost with whoever's going with you or coming back with you. But overall, the decision was, just take the Canada line. It's way cheaper, way less worrying, way less stress, and very convenient. So those are cash comparison choices, right? And it's not about judging whether you do this or do that or why you're doing this or doing that, but just to take a second and be like, well, instead of being like, I'm going to drive down and find some parking and spend about the same, if not more money, and worry about where I'm parking and worry about whether my time's running out, why don't I just take the Canada line? Like, swallow my pride. Some people are just too proud to take the Canada line, but it's actually pretty swag. Okay, so let's move into our topic of the day. And I'm reading from the Firestarter Sessions. Whoa, it's so bright. Can you even see that? Firestarter Sessions, written by Danielle Laporte, who is a local East Van resident, and she is super cool. Look her up on YouTube, Danielle Laporte, Laporte. The way she does her readings and her videos, it's so mesmerizing. That's the word I'm going to use. So today is want what you want. That's the topic we're going into. Now, even someone who's as liberal as myself, as liberated, not liberal in the political sense because that never really says what it means, but what I mean is someone who's willing to speak her mind, willing to be transparent, which if you've ever met me in person, it's really difficult for me to not be transparent. But if I need a poker face, if I really need it, I'll put it on. But wanting what I want, I'm definitely going to express that, sometimes a little too much. But so many people walk around with a guilt or sort of a judgment around wanting what they want, so much so that they can't even recognize anymore what they want. Even someone such as myself can struggle from time to time with wondering what other people would think, even if no one has a clue of what you're wanting or what you're doing with your life. It's like, oh, is that safe? Is that okay? Like, this hesitation. But if you tap more into your connection and knowing you are divinely connected and your divine wants come to surface, like for instance, the other day I was in London Drugs and I was looking at magazines. I haven't bought a fashion magazine in a long time. I was standing there looking, I was like, geez, like every time I go and look around, I can't seem to find much of fashion magazines. Like they're there, but it seems like there used to be a whole lot more. Like now there's a lot of how-to-do kind of magazines and more of the, I don't know, informative magazines, which is great. But what about the fashion, beauty, those fun magazines? They're there, but are they actually dissolving? Is it actually becoming more of a digital world? I think that's where we're heading. And yet it's sometimes just fun to go nostalgic and as if someone went to go buy an LP record, like a magazine, it's going out of style, out of stock. So it's kind of fun to go get that LP record and put it on a record player. So I was thinking, hey, what about a magazine? That'd be kind of fun. And I was standing there, and this older woman came up, and she was standing there staring, and I was like, is it just me? And I was mentioning this to her, or are they shrinking on the magazines? And then she was just like, oh, I have no idea. I've never been to look at fashion magazines for like years, for like maybe 20 years I've ever looked at fashion magazines. I was like, okay, yeah. And then she asked me, is style and fashion something that gives you joy? I'm like, oh yeah, like actually I wasn't really dressed styly or anything. It was pretty casual slop, but that happens, right? And why not be casual slop once in a while? But I was like, yeah, I love style. My daughters are into style. My daughters are very fashionable. One's into modeling and acting, and one's into design and managing and merchandising. And she was like, oh, like just listening to me. And I was thinking I was kind of impressing her, but she was like, but don't you think like life needs to be a little bit more about joy? Like, does that really give you joy? And I was like, whoa, I thought she was about to sell Jesus on me, right? And I was like, and I quickly put the magazines back on the shelf, and I was like, that's really not what I believe at all. Like, I was gonna like get my exit strategy, put those magazines back so I could just exit. I was like, no, actually, that's not what I believe. Like, I want fashion and style, and I love how you can shift your identity with how you're looking, and I think that that's beautiful, and I enjoy it. Like, that's part of expressing your inner nature, is the outer. And yeah, sure, maybe some people are not feeling so straight up in their head, and they're really focusing on, how do I look? How do I look? How do I look? How do I look? More than, how do I feel? How do I feel? How do I feel? But I honestly don't think fashion and style in and of itself, just like money or material wealth in and of itself, is wrong. And of course, you don't get joy from objects. Although, when you feel joy, you can feel very connected to objects and material things. Connected in that, wow, this is so beautiful. I love my life. This is so useful. And it's really expressing how I feel. Like these sunglasses, right? They're not that expensive, but that to me is style. That to me is like, yeah, my identity. It's fun. And so even though she said it and she was real kind of strong about it, I helped her kind of look past that. But, you know, she's carrying this heavy weight of judging herself on whether style should be a part of her life, because it's not going to give her joy. And it's like, well, just because you participate in something doesn't mean it's going to give you joy. You have to tap into joy, period. Right? And I walked away going, you know what? That is such an old way of thinking, and I still get it. I still understand. It's a mental disease to think like that, to sort of prevent yourself from formulating your style or your identity into a physical expression, into a outer expression. And people hold back. Oh, should I wear this? Oh, should I do that with my hair? Like, they think about what others are thinking, when really you need to want what you want. So let's dive into our reading today. Yeah, okay. So want what you want, knowing how you want to feel is half the journey to liberation. But a funny thing often happens on the way to clarity. We get clear on how we want to feel, and then we muck it all up with self-judgment. Right? A story. I was jamming with a client whom I adore. She's kind-hearted. She's willing to look at her shit and her gloriousness, and she's excellent at what she does. I think you can take these off now. She's excellent at what she does. So in terms of success, how do you want to feel? I asked her. I want to feel important, she said, like it was a confession time. And then it came, the backpedal, the squashing of desire. But is it wrong to want to feel that way? It sounds a bit arrogant. Shouldn't I want to feel something else? Freeze frame. It's not wrong to want to feel a certain way. You want what you want. It doesn't mean you'll get it, but denying it won't get you anywhere better. Back to the convo. Is it wrong to want to feel important? I echoed back to her. Well, maybe some therapists would think so. Could be your wounded inner child and all that, but let's work from here and now. In terms of your business, what would make you feel important? Well, that actress I was telling you about would be photographed in my product. And the editor at that big magazine would decide to put me on the cover for the next issue. I'd be seated at the head table of the industry gala. My cheap clients would stop pestering me for cheaper product, and I'd be working with the people who really value what I do. She was on a roll. Her voice was clear and strong. She was sitting up straight. Well, that sounds like a rocking business to me. So, what do you need to do to help ensure that you feel important? I asked. And with that, a very concise to-do list rolled off her lips. Bang, bang, bang. She knew exactly what to do. You know, just talking about what I'm going to do to make myself feel important makes me feel important. She concluded, that's what happens when we take control of our desires. Moving toward gratitude helps you feel grateful. Aiming for power gets your power circuits firing. Planning for love makes you feel lovable. And so it goes. Be done with feeling guilty for wanting to feel the way you want to feel. Follow your desired emotion. Don't analyze it too deeply, just let it roll and rumble a bit. It may be there to humble you, expand you, heal, surprise, or reinvent you. Anywhere it leads, it's there for a divine reason. Be done, let's say that again, with feeling guilty for wanting to feel the way you want to feel. Follow your desired emotion. Don't analyze it too deeply. Just let it roll and rumble a bit. It may be there to humble you, expand you, heal, surprise, or reinvent you. Anywhere it leads, it's there for a divine reason. A divine reason and a divine calling. Maybe you feel drawn to doing something that's kind of out there, like some sort of service or product that you're like, that's kind of out there. I'm not so sure if that's okay. Or you desire a reinvention, but are you hesitating on formulating your fashion or your style? Are you holding back when you keep craving it, but then you're holding back on the execution of it? Whether it's in your business or in your life, where are you blocking out of feeling guilty for wanting what you want? So first off, you need to know what you want. And if you remove the guilt and the judgment and the fear, you're going to get clearer on knowing what you want, and it is divine. And the more you tune into your divine existence and expression, the more you're able to truly serve your purpose. So exciting. Do you want to join into these morning shows live? They're at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. You can introduce yourself and where you're from. And when we do our little story time, you can share at the end your reflection on your story or how it relates to you. Briefly just share your insight. And if you're watching the recording, you could share in the comments below. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel so that you can get these at least as recordings. But if you want to show up live and get the live link and be invited in and come on live, which is so exciting, especially for business entrepreneurs, because you get a chance to be like, guys, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is what I can offer. Not too much pitching. This is not going to be about pitching, but just you show up and people see you and what's going on. So then you want to email me so that I can invite you back. So you want to be on Google+. Some people aren't familiar with Google Hangouts, but it's not as difficult as it seems. You just need to email me at successquoteme@gmail.com and say, hey, yeah, I want to come to the live Hangouts. I want to come there live. So then I can add you in to the Hangout through your Gmail. You got to have a Gmail. So thanks so much, guys, for showing up, and go out there. Happy Friday. Woohoo! Go millionize your life.